Okay, as I said, I really don't have a lot of building experience of anything except floors for metal storage buildings. So anyway, the first thing I built was this large 12-inch beam. It's 10 feet long. It's about 8 feet between the trees, but 10 feet long. And you got to use these gigantic bolts. This thing is 9 inches long and it's a 3/4 inch thick. I bought those over the internet. You can't even buy those at Lowe's or Home Depot. Some Tractor Supply places might have them. Anyway, I put these on. Then I put the floor, outer floor joist as part here, and all the outer framing and everything. And it's done with 2x6. And then, of course, I put on the support beams, which is these. And those are probably 6-inch bolts, also 3/4 inch galvanized, and they are attached several ways on here. I've got these heavy-duty braces and galvanized bolts and a few deck screws. That's how it is done all the way around. And then the next thing I did was the bottom floor. I did that up on ladders and things. That was quite an adventure. After doing the floor, I did the studs for the walls and the top pieces, of course. Now for the roof, I used OSB. But on top of the OSB, I used not shingles. On top of the OSB, I used this heavy 20 mil vinyl. This stuff is very thick, very strong. I had a hard time cutting it even with scissors. I didn't want to get into roofing shingles and all that sort of thing. I don't know anything about working with shingles, but I just cut this off in pieces and layered it just like shingles. And that's what's on the roof. Should last me till my kids are grown up. Okay, for the roof, I started at the back end, and I put on each section about 2 feet widths at a time. It's about 10 feet long. The width of the treehouse is 8 feet long. The roof is about 10 feet long because it has an overhang on each end on the outside. So I put on about 2 foot sections at a time with a ladder on this end. I worked my way back, all the way to the end. And I had absolutely no intention of getting on the roof of this treehouse. So I did this last little piece here, which is right above this window, which is at the end of the house. There's the roof of our house. I did this last little section from the inside. How did I do it? I simply screwed hooks into the ceiling. Not all the way through, but just partially through. And I pulled the ceiling close to me while I screwed screws right there. I screwed screws into the ceiling, but not all the way through. I did that by pulling it tight again with one hook, with that hook, and then just putting screws in with my other hand. It was kind of a hard job, and once I did it there, it gave me another idea. The wood siding. How did I do that? I simply reached through the studs. I started from the bottom, and I reached through the studs, and I hammered each piece and worked my way up. I'd go all the way across, and I'd work my way all the way up. Then when I got to the very top, I reached my hand over this part and pulled the studs close to me, and in some places I also stuck a hook in these, pulled the siding close to me while I toe-nailed screws diagonally to hold them tight. And that's how I did the sides. I did not want to get on the roof of this thing because the ground underneath this thing is very, very uneven. The floor is just OSB for now, but we're going to put something on there like carpet or vinyl or something. So that's how I built this treehouse for the most part.